like something like this in the UK.
She likes that shade of pink.
It does. Very pretty. 95% silk, isn't it? $9.
Pardon?
For $9 plus $8 or $10 plus $9 per year.
Can I read you some of my story? Are you listening?
Yeah.
Henry stood neck, head and shoulders above everyone else in the venue. The average punter was lucky to be tall enough to be eye level with his nipples. He'd seen this band a dozen times before and knew that their set was about to finish. Wanting to beat the rush of people going to leave at the end of the show, he decided it would be best to leave now. He was a clumsy guy and so maneuvered himself carefully through the crowd. His long, skinny body fit easily into the small spaces in between the people in the audience as he made his way to the exit without incident. He ejected himself from the bar and out onto the street in front of the building. That was when he spotted her. And my teacher was like, make it a fairy tale because he's a giant. She was standing in the glow outside Tony's nightclub. Dozens of moths fluttered overhead, forming what appeared to be, from the distance, a twinkling halo around her head.
Hello. You moved from the bed and then you moved
Yeah,
into the
we've
bed.
Yeah. She's just reading me her story. And I was getting too restless to stay in the bed. I kept on moving all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I just wanted to let you know. Oh, I'll give you the sheet paper. Oh, so I spoke to Dr. Grimes about the medical
The thing. Yes.
with the Zoloft, and he said no, he's not too concerned. So you can use the Maximum tablets, and if you do find anything funny, nauseous, fast heart rate, irritable, confused, something like that, then use them. Please stop it straight away. But you are on a pretty low dose of the Zoloft, and you're just using this tablet on an as required basis.
But I will still take one on Sunday so I don't get the nausea starting up.
So I'll just explain to you this sheet of paper then. So this one will list the tablets that I would supply to you. How to read it, you've got medication name, brand name, instructions, morning, midday, evening, and bedtime. So the first one is just listing the chemotherapy that you're having, which is called TC.
Okay.
So T is for Taxotere, which is the brand name of docetaxel, and then you've got cyclophosphamide. And that's administered every 3 weeks for 4 cycles. The next one is the one that you already have tablets at home already, the dexamethasone, that you will taking the 2 tablets with food in the morning, the day before, the day of, and the day after chemotherapy. And you already know to do that each time tablets that I'm supplying to you, I was just mentioning that may interfere with dissolve is the metoclopramide,
Yeah.
also known as Maxilon. And this one is one tablet up to 3 times when required.
Yeah.
But by all means, you can use it preemptively every day after, or at any time during the cycle if you are feeling nauseous. It does cause a bit of drowsiness, so just to watch out for that as well. It'll come as a packet of 25 tablets. I just don't have them here yet, so I can't show you what they look like.
That's right.
When they're all and then that last one is the injection. So did Dr. Grimes come see you or something before?
He told me about what it does. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so it's an injection that helps to boost the white blood cells in the body because the chemotherapy will knock them all out. And this injection will help to boost it such that you'll be able to recover by the time you next week.
But it won't interfere with the other injectors of chemo.
But it's normally administered 24 hours after.
That's
the other
He
thing.
said pain in the back or pain in the joints or in the knees.
So you can use pain relief like Panadol,
Whatever. You told me all that. So,
Okay.
and I also discussed with him about the half dose of aspirin. He said no, that's fine. Just
because I asked him about that as well. He's like, yes,
yeah.
about that.
Good. That's
So
good.
you have there. Now this injection is usually kept in the fridge, so we'll have it sent here.
Yep.
Keep in the fridge, and then when you go home,
I put it in the
take
fridge.
it home. And then who's going to be administering it to you tomorrow? Or are you administering it yourself?
It's just subcutaneous, right?
Yes.
So, okay, yeah. So it's not a big deal.
Yeah, probably I will do it. But
Yeah.
Have you done it before?
No.
No.
I can help her.
Yeah. Will you be home?
Oh, I don't know.
We'll get
I
the
can
nurses
do
to
it anyway.
show you as
Yeah.
well. if they've done it already.
But I'm saying you just basically just push it in and what do they say? Something about the noise or the action of it. There was something about the action of
What,
it.
you doing it to yourself?
No, but about I forget it now.
I've got an information leaflet here that you can take with you.
Yeah.
That also does explain how to administer it as well. Even unless they mentioned that snap. Is it a snap?
Yeah, it was something. It was something
They've got
about
one here,
it.
snap.
Oh.
The nurse
It's
will
not
put
even
it out
making
because they
noise.
do
Yeah.
administer it
Okay,
quite
right.
But essentially you'd be just pushing it down. And then I'm not sure if it has a sound.
That's not going to be any good.
And then when you withdraw out, they'll have a needle guard that goes over the top of the needle just to protect yourself from realistic injury. And then I've got a little bit in here that you can expose it into as well. Yes. But have a read through that.
I sometimes give my mother her blood glucose injections and things.
Oh, okay.
I'm a bit familiar with that.
But it's just a subcutaneous injection, and that's a little information booklet about it as well.
Thank you.
If you want to read through that, then I'll give you that because that's your copy. And this here,
That will be and that will be presumably insulated for the
yes.
injection.
Well, let's get into it. So this is yours to keep. It's from the drug company, which is called Amgen. And
Look at the cancer patients.
and bring this bag with you each time. So just as a reminder to take the syringe home and also there's something to bring home. But in here, they've got the sharps container.
Oh, really? Great.
So once that's all full at the end of the treatment, I suppose you can either bring it back here and they can dispose it in here, or like to your facility.
Thank you.
And they've also got alcohol swabs in here as well.
You can just put it in the bins outside needle exchanges and stuff though, right? Like, anywhere.
It's probably preferable in a hardball bin. I suppose this is already a little hardball container as well, but because we've got specific bins that we dispose of sharps as well. And if you haven't got one already, but there's one there in case as well, a thermometer.
We do have.
I don't think we do.
Do we? We
Because
have
you
one.
will need a
Yeah.
thermometer.
Yeah.
Just check your temperature.
I'm pretty sure we only have a sugar thermometer.
A sugar
cooking.
thermometer.
Yeah.
Oh.
We have a sugar thermometer.
Yeah.
A roast.
I don't think we have a human one.
We have a roast thermometer. Yeah.
No, I don't think.
No, not sensitive enough.
But what we did years ago, with Dad's pretty secret.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll just leave this
Thank you very much.
here.
Sorry, may I put those in there?
Oh, yeah, sure. So you put it in the fridge, and then I suppose tomorrow, take it out. Just let it
Just let it
So it's
warm
not
up.
so cold.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for that. And I'm sorry, I didn't get your name.
My name's Linda.
Thank you.
Yeah. But you're going okay so far?
Yeah, I'm going very well.
Dose of Taxil. Yeah.
Now that I'm sitting in a chair, not being so restless.
Are you okay in the bed?
Yes,
You're okay with
very
it?
comfortable.
She's reading me a uni
Yeah.
story.
Okay. All right. No, worries. I'll pop back later when I've got the tablets.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Thank
Lynn.
you.
Thank you.
So this is where I try and make it into like a fairy tale. She was standing in the glow outside Tony's nightclub. Dozens of moths fluttered overhead, forming what appeared from a distance to be a twinkling halo around her head. In a scene not unlike something from Disney's 1959 version of Sleeping Beauty, where the forest animals come together with the fairy godmother to dress Aurora, she seemed to be surrounded by helpful, doting creatures. Smiling, she held out her arms and closed her eyes. The critters looked up at her adoringly, and together they pulled her hoodie up her arms and over her shoulders. So you know, like when the fairy,
Yeah. When they did it with Snow White.
yeah, and they like dressed them, yeah. So, but this is like security guards and stuff.
And hoodies. And
Yeah, exactly. As one of them dragged the zipper up her front, closing the jumper, the other
Thank
hood,
No worries.
the other pulled her hood up over the back of her head.
So we'll finish the first lot. We'll have a little flush
Yeah.
and we'll start the second lot. And that's it.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks. Henry could no longer hear the loud gurgling of the valley, audible only seconds before, but a beautiful, magical melody, delicately comprised of a flute, an acoustic guitar, xylophone, and a triangle. Everything seemed suddenly to be synchronized, choreographed even, as he watched from the other side of the road. Her movements were ballerina-like as she swooped in to kiss each of the troll-like security guards that flanked her gently on their foreheads. She relieved her fellow dancers, who had been standing looking on, smiling fondly, of her backpack and handbag, before kissing them too, this time on the mouth, and gliding away along the path. She was tiny, and it was only a moment before she disappeared, swallowed by the shadowy crowd making its way along the street. Gobsmacked, Henry's mouth was agape. As if being summoned by the song of a siren, he walked with his head up and his mouth still wide open towards the spot she had been occupying just moments before.
Sorry.
You're right.
Quick. The tablets.
Oh, love it.
That's the metacodamine tablets
Okay.
that you use up to 3 times a day as
Yeah,
needed.
they would full of motion.
Yes. Oh. And the other thing that I just want to mention as well, because you're having that injection the day after, you will need to have a blood test done a week after the chemo, which is like about the day 8 of the cycle, just
So
to check
that
the
will
blood
be
test.
next Saturday.
So it'd be like Friday,
Okay.
day 7 days. So yeah, Friday, same time this week. Next week. Just to check the white blood cells, the neutrophils, and this just helps us to obtain the injection from the drug company.
Yeah. Excellent.
But I believe Helena's arranging the blood test form for you. Yeah.
I'll probably just take the same for that one if you email me.
Yeah. So I'll just leave those ones there. Okay. Thanks.
I shall give you a book to read, an Australian author, well, Brisbane author, in fact, who writes fantasy, dark fantasy.
I'm not into that. It's just that like this will get me a high distinction. Like I know that. And like doing something different. Like
But this is sit around Horn Park and the stand and the garden.
wait. I'm pretty sure my friend. Is it recent?
Yeah.
I think my friend's big sister is the author. She writes fantasy novels about Brisbane.
Oh, well, that will be the same person.
Okay, so as if being summoned by the song of a siren, he walked with his head up and mouth still wide open toward the spot she'd been occupying just moments before. The security guards looked up at him expectantly, but his mind was miles away. Security guard 1. G'day, mate. It's actually after lockout, unfortunately, so we can't let you in, I'm afraid. The security guard nodded slowly, looking curiously at Henry. Then he suddenly snapped back to reality. This one is actually written like as a screenplay, not a short story. Henry, oh yeah, nah, that's fine. I just wanted to talk to the stunningly beautiful girl who was standing here just before. He rubbed the back of his neck and looked down at his shoes. The security guards chuckled. Security guard 2. Well then come back tomorrow night with your $20 for entry, mate, and you can see all the beautiful girls you want. If you can fit through the door, that is. The security guards burst into a roaring laughter. Henry adjusted his posture. Henry, oh okay, will she be here tomorrow night? Can you tell me her name so that I can ask after her? The security guards looked at each other, smirking. Security guard 1, nah mate, afraid not. We don't give out the girls' names or roster for obvious reasons. It could be a weirdo. The second security guard cut in. Yeah, that, or a giant. Again, the security guards roared with laughter. Henry's ears burned red with embarrassment as he hunched his shoulders in an unsuccessful attempt to shrink himself. Henry, listen, I'm not some desperado. I know what it must look like. Realizing how pathetic he must have appeared, he trailed off. Sheepishly, he looked at the 2 dancers still standing outside the club, making brief eye contact with one of them before slinking away around the corner to roll a cigarette and recompose himself. As he turned the corner, pulling his pouch up of tobacco from his pocket, he could hear the security guard still laughing at him. Security guard 1. Oh yeah, you know what it must look like, do you? Yeah, like a freak of nature, that's what. Piss off back up the beanstalk, you freak. Security guard 2. Yeah, why don't you pick on a girl your own size, you fucking monolith? Their laughing had reached hysterical levels. Security guard 1. Yeah, I don't care if you're the friendliest giant that ever there was. As if Pascal would ever look twice at your lanky and over-proportioned ass. Henry. Pascal, he exclaimed under his breath, punching the air triumphantly. His mouth twisted into a weak smile as he turned his face skyward. He blinked hard and long, sinking backwards into the wall behind him. Still leaning against the wall, he continued with the task of blowing his cigarette. He popped a super slim filter into the corner of his mouth and deposited a small portion of tobacco into the rolling paper positioned between 3 of the fingers on his right hand. At that moment, one of the dancers who had been standing outside the club turned the corner.
No. Hello, sorry, how long have we been having your infusion for?
I think he said it's going to be flush.
Oh, you're on a flush? Perfect.
Yeah.
So I can take this magic box away.
Lovely.
So at that moment, one of the dancers who had been standing outside the club turned the corner. She was wearing thigh-high socks and clear plastic platform pumps, chewing gum with an open mouth and twirling her hair. The look of satisfaction on his face dissolved instantly. Athne. Hey, I'm Athne. As she extended her hand,
Hello, lover.
as she extended her hand, he hurried to lick along the edge, the gummed edge of the cigarette paper and finish the rolling process. Nodding, his hand shot toward her like premature ejaculate. Henry. Pleased to meet you, Athne, the fire fairy queen of Celtic folklore. My name is Henry. Athne looked distinctly weirded out by Henry's comment and had already half rolled her eyes before she was able to stop herself. Athne, yeah, I guess. Anyway, I heard you asking Tweedledee and Tweedledum back there about Pascal. Henry, oh yeah, I didn't
Good
mean...
names, yeah.
I wanted to make them interesting. Henry, oh yeah, I didn't mean anything by it. Athne cut him off. Yeah, I heard. You think she's beautiful? Henry, yeah, and Athne cut him off again. And you want to get to know her, right? Worship her? Henry, yeah, well, basically, something like that. Athne, she and I have seen you around at uni and at the pub on campus. I know she thinks you're cute. That is, to someone so freakishly tall. Athne looked Henry up and down with a somewhat dubious expression on her face. Her eyes narrowed when they reached his crotch. She was sizing him up. He didn't notice. He forced a chuckle before responding. Henry, huh, oh man, is that right? I've never noticed either of you around. I feel like a complete asshole. I mean, believe me, if I had, I would have, Acne cut him off again. You would have what? Blabbered at us, lost for words like you are now, before jizzing in your pants? She sniggered, closing her eyes and shaking her head. Henry's face dropped before he looked back up at her smirking face. Words escaped him. His mouth moved but no sound came out, like a fish on dry land, suffocating. Acne noticed his shame and backed off a little. Acne, dude, I'm joking, calm down. Henry, what? So, wait, none of that was true? Or Acne, oh no, it's true. I'm as surprised as you are, pal. You know, it's just lucky you're handsome. I wouldn't ever let myself be cuffed like this under any other circumstances. It's also lucky for you, both of you, that I'm no cockblock. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is, here's her phone number. She passed him a Tony's nightclub business card complete with her phone number scribbled on it in red pen. Henry was shocked. He looked as though she had just handed him a fat wad of $100 notes. He shoved the card into the depths of his pocket. He couldn't believe his luck. Henry, wow, thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Fuck. Acne, yeah? Don't mention it. I've never been the if I can't have it then no one can type. She's a lesbian, obviously. Henry looked confused. He didn't
Was that a side comment or was that?
Yeah, well she says, I've never been the if I can't have it no one can type. Henry looked confused. He didn't catch her drift. Acne stood with her hands on her hips, nearly 2 whole feet shorter than Henry, but still somehow successfully intimidating him with her body language. Henry, oh yeah, huh. The only thing is, what exactly am I supposed to say when she asks who I am and how I got her phone number? Acne, well presumably you tell her that it's that giant from uni and that Acne gave it to you outside the club tonight. Seems pretty straightforward, really. Henry, okay, yeah. Well, that is all about there is to say, I suppose. Acne, yep, how about that, huh? The giant and the pixie. She raised her eyebrows and nodded her head. That could be kind of cute, I suppose. Acne cocked her jaw to the side in what seemed a rather judgmental fashion before turning on her heel and disappearing back around the corner. Henry was unsure of what had just happened, but hand still in his pocket was quite sure that the business card featuring the scribbled phone number scrawled across the back was real. He couldn't have imagined it. He could feel the rigid piece of card in the palm of his now sweaty hand. Suddenly, Acne popped her head back around the corner. There's one more thing. Do you consider yourself a feminist? I forgot to ask. Henry, yes, of course I do. Acne looked quite seriously into Henry's eyes for a moment before she softened. Appearing satisfied with his response, she smiled a genuine and toothy smile before once again disappearing around the corner. So that's the first scene, and so the whole idea of that scene was to have like an exposition where I use Acne and the security guards to explain that they're a giant, that he's a giant and she's a pixie.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know, I didn't have any other way to do it.
Yeah, that's true. And it's all fantasy and the creatures that come out and all
Yeah, that dress her and dance around, synchronized, choreographed. And it could look really cool. I don't plan on shooting it, but I mean, it could look amazing. How was your meeting, Father?
Good.
This is, I haven't heard of this person, but I'll share this to you. She's a 26-year-old who's been a writer of fantasy.
I think that is Michelle's sister.
Someone's calling? Colin?
I don't know. Everyone has fake Facebook names these days.
Except Mark. So how's it going there? Are you supposed to be moving around?
Fine.
Oh, I was getting restless legs and I was...
No, but are you supposed to be doing stuff with the that's got the cannula in it? Aren't you supposed to
Yeah,
be sitting still?
well, no, I'm okay. It's not making a noise.
What does that mean? If it makes a noise, what?
She disturbed it a couple of times and it started beeping and stopped dripping.
Aren't you supposed to sit still, read a book? Not type? Or type with your hand or something?
I can't type with my other hand. So just her name is Kiralee Barker.
I don't know. I
But
don't
there was
know.
another one that Hannah and I went to see.
Fifi L'Amour.
Fantasy writing meetups.
I'm not into it, personally.